Houston, Texas. They call it the Space City, the energy capital of the world, and the land where Southern hospitality meets staggering ambition. But if you look past the oil rigs and the skyscrapers of downtown, you will find a different kind of power grid. One built not on fossil fuels, but on talent, ownership, and cultural dominance. We are tracking the 10 wealthiest black women who call, or have called, Houston home. From the quiet syndication wealth of television royalty to the explosive billion-dollar empire of a global music titan, this list redefines what it means to be a Texas tycoon. Sit tight, because the woman at number 1 has built a fortune so massive it rivals the GDP of small nations. This is the definitive countdown of the richest black women in Houston. Number 10. Chandra Wilson, the syndication queen. We begin our countdown with a woman whose wealth is the definition of quiet power. While most celebrities chase headlines to stay relevant, Chandra Wilson has spent the last 2 decades doing something far more profitable, clocking into one of the most lucrative jobs in television history. Born and raised in Houston, Chandra began her career in theater, appearing in The Cosby Show in Chicago on Broadway. But her financial destiny changed forever in 2005 when she was cast as Dr. Miranda Bailey on Grey's Anatomy. What was supposed to be a supporting role became the show's moral anchor. But here is where the money comes in. In the world of network television, longevity is the ultimate wealth builder. Chandra Wilson didn't just survive on the show, she outlasted nearly everyone. As one of the few original cast members remaining after 20 seasons, her per-episode salary has ballooned into the elite tier of TV earners. Industry reports estimate that veteran actors on long-running hits like Grey's command upwards of $125,000 to $375,000 per episode. When you multiply that by 24 episodes a season for 2 decades, you're looking at tens of millions of dollars in gross earnings. But the real wealth engine here isn't the salary, it's the back end. Grey's Anatomy is a syndication monster. It streams on Netflix, it airs in reruns on cable, and it is licensed globally. Every time Dr. Bailey appears on a screen in Paris, Tokyo, or Brazil, Chandra Wilson gets paid. Moreover, she leveraged her tenure to step behind the camera. Chandra has directed over 20 episodes of the show, as well as episodes of Scandal and The Fosters. Director's fees are a substantial additional income stream, separate from her acting contracts. She essentially turned a single acting gig into a diversified portfolio of directing, producing, and acting residuals. With an estimated net worth sitting comfortably in the $10 million range, Chandra Wilson proves that you don't need a lifestyle brand or a perfume line to build a fortune. You just need to own your lane, show up, and let the residuals stack up while you sleep. She is Houston's prime example of steady, blue-chip Hollywood wealth. Number 9. Yolanda Adams, the gospel mogul. If Chandra Wilson represents TV money, our next entry represents the lucrative intersection of faith and media. Yolanda Adams is widely known as the queen of contemporary gospel, but her bank account reflects a business portfolio that extends far beyond the church choir. A former schoolteacher in Houston, Yolanda broke into the gospel scene in the late 1980s, but it was her crossover success in the late 90s with the album Mountain High, Valley Low that turned her into a commercial juggernaut. We are talking about multi-platinum sales in a genre where gold status is rare. However, Yolanda's placement on this list is not just about album sales, it is about media ownership. For over a decade, the Yolanda Adams Morning Show was a nationally syndicated radio program heard in over 60 markets. In the radio business, syndication is the golden goose. It provides steady, high-margin revenue through advertising splits and licensing fees. Even after the show's initial run ended, she pivoted to new digital formats, keeping her voice and her revenue active. But Yolanda didn't stop at media. She understood that her brand stood for warmth, energy, and morning inspiration. So she bottled it. She launched Yolanda Adams Coffee, a line of ethically sourced coffee blends. This wasn't a quick licensing cash grab. It was a business venture aimed at the daily routines of her millions of fans. She also leveraged her fashion influence into a jewelry line and an apparel collection, further diversifying her income. And let's not forget the touring. Gospel touring circuits are notoriously profitable because they play to incredibly loyal, packed audiences in mega churches and arenas that often charge premium ticket prices. With a net worth estimated around $6 million, Yolanda Adams is a testament to the power of a niche market. She didn't try to be a pop star. She dominated gospel until the gospel market paid her like a pop star. She owns her real estate in Houston, she owns her brand, and she owns the airwaves. She is proof that in Houston, faith and finance often go hand in hand. Number 8. Solange Knowles, the artistic architect. For years, she was known as Beyoncé's little sister. Today, Solange Knowles is known as a high art mogul who built a multi-million-dollar universe entirely on her own terms. Solange's wealth is fascinating because it is cool capital. She didn't build it by selling out arenas with pop hits. She built it by cornering the market on high-end cultural curation. After gaining her financial footing with songwriting royalties, writing hits for Destiny's Child and her own early albums, Solange pivoted. She founded St. Heron, a creative agency and cultural hub. This is not a vanity project. St. Heron partners with major global brands, museums, and institutions to produce art installations, limited edition products, and events. When a luxury brand like Calvin Klein or a museum like the Guggenheim wants to connect with the avant-garde Black aesthetic, they call Solange. These consulting and creative direction fees are substantial, often rivaling what artists make on tour. Then there is her music. Solange's album A Seat at the Table wasn't just a critical masterpiece, it was a commercial breakthrough that gave her touring power. But unlike her sister, Solange plays festivals and opera houses, venues that pay high premiums for her specific brand of performance art. Her real estate portfolio also reflects her distinct taste. She has owned and flipped properties in New Orleans, Brooklyn, and Los Angeles, often buying historic homes, renovating them with her signature design aesthetic, and selling them for a profit. With a net worth estimated between $8 million and $10 million, Solange represents the boutique empire. She proves that you don't need to appeal to everyone to be rich. You just need to be indispensable to the tastemakers. She is Houston's avant-garde princess, and her money is as curated as her Instagram feed. Number 7. Lizzo, the global brand. From the avant-garde, we move to pure, explosive mainstream dominance. Lizzo may have been born in Detroit, but she found her voice and her flute in Houston. And over the last 5 years, she has turned that voice into a global ATM. Lizzo's rise to wealth was fast and furious. It wasn't just about the music, though hits like Truth Hurts and About Damn Time generated millions in streaming royalties and publishing. It was about how she weaponized her personality into a brand. The biggest driver of her recent wealth surge is Yitty, her shapewear brand launched in partnership with Fabletics. This was a genius business move. Instead of just doing a one-off collaboration, she co-founded a sub-brand. Fabletics is a billion-dollar giant in the activewear space, and by partnering with them, Lizzo gained instant access to their global manufacturing and distribution infrastructure. Yitty isn't a small side hustle. It is a direct competitor to Kim Kardashian's Skims, targeting the everybody demographic that Lizzo champions. The revenue from a successful shapewear line can easily eclipse music earnings. Then there are the endorsements. Lizzo has secured checks from Google, Logitech, Dove, and Absolute Vodka. These are blue-chip, seven-figure deals that rely on her image of confidence and joy. While her net worth has fluctuated with the market and legal battles, estimates consistently place her in the $10 million to $12 million range, with the potential to scale much higher as Yitty matures. Lizzo took the Houston hottie energy and sold it to the world, proving that self-love isn't just a mantra, it's a marketing strategy worth millions. Number 6. Debbie Allen, the dynasty builder. If you want to talk about old money in the entertainment industry, you have to talk about Debbie Allen. A Houston native and a true cultural matriarch, Debbie Allen has been cashing checks since the 1970s, and she hasn't stopped since. Debbie Allen is best known to the younger generation as Dr. Catherine Avery on Grey's Anatomy, where she stars alongside Chandra Wilson. But her role on Grey's is just the tip of the iceberg. She is also an executive producer on the show. In Hollywood, the executive producer credit is where the real generational wealth lives. It means you are not just paid for your time, you are paid for the show's success. But Debbie's empire was built long before Grey's. She was the creative force behind the famed TV series in the 80s. She directed and produced the legendary sitcom A Different World, effectively shaping the culture of HBCUs for a generation. The residuals and production fees from A Different World alone are a steady river of income. Beyond television, she owns the Debbie Allen Dance Academy, DADA, in Los Angeles. While this is a non-profit, it is a massive institution that cements her legacy and influence, supported by major donors and celebrity benefactors. Debbie's wealth is diverse: acting salaries, directing fees, producer points, and a legacy of choreography rights. With a net worth estimated over $15 million, she is the general of this list. She didn't just kick open doors for Black women in Hollywood, she bought the building and started charging rent. Number 5. Phylicia Rashad, the cultural icon. At number 5, we have Debbie Allen's sister, the legendary Phylicia Rashad. Growing up in Houston's 3rd Ward, Phylicia rose to become the mother of the Black community through her role as Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Now, the financial legacy of The Cosby Show is complex, but for decades, it was the most profitable syndication engine in TV history. As a lead actress, Phylicia's earnings from the show's original run and its decades of reruns provided the capital foundation for everything that followed. But Phylicia didn't rest on her sitcom money. She conquered Broadway, becoming the first Black woman to win the Tony Award for Best Actress in A Play for a Raisin in the Sun. Tony-winning Broadway runs pay handsomely, not just in salary but in prestige that leads to higher fees for film and TV roles. Recently, she has starred in the Creed franchise alongside Michael B. Jordan. Blockbuster film franchises like Creed come with significant paychecks, especially for legacy actors who bring gravitas to the screen. Furthermore, Phylicia has transitioned into high-level academia, serving as the Dean of the College of Fine Arts at Howard University. This is a prestigious, salaried executive position that adds a layer of institutional influence to her portfolio. With a net worth estimated at over $20 million, Phylicia Rashad represents prestige wealth. She is selective, dignified, and incredibly expensive to hire. She took the discipline she learned in Houston and turned it into a career that is as profitable as it is legendary. Number 4. Simone Biles, the GOAT. We move from the stage to the stadium. Simone Biles is not just the greatest gymnast of all time. She is a one-woman financial ecosystem. At just 27 years old, she has accumulated a net worth estimated at $25 million to $27 million, and she is doing it by breaking every rule in the athlete's handbook. Historically, gymnasts make their money every 4 years at the Olympics and then fade away. Simone flipped the script. She realized that her value wasn't just in winning medals, but in her brand. Her biggest financial move was leaving Nike, the safe, standard choice for athletes, to sign with Athleta, a Gap-owned brand. This wasn't just an endorsement deal, it was a partnership that gave her equity and creative control. She gets to design her own line of performance wear, and unlike a standard cash deal, an equity play means that as the brand grows, her wealth grows. Then there is the touring. Instead of joining the standard post-Olympic tour, where the organizers keep most of the profit, Simone launched her own, the Gold Over America Tour. By owning the tour, she controls the ticket sales, the merchandise, and the production. She turned herself from the talent into the promoter. Simone also keeps her money close to home. She and her husband, NFL player Jonathan Owens, are building a massive waterfront mansion in Texas. She invests in real estate and has a portfolio of blue-chip endorsements including Visa, United Airlines, and Uber Eats. Simone Biles proves that being the best in the world is profitable, but being the smartest in the room is what makes you wealthy. She is the youngest woman on this list, but her business acumen rivals moguls twice her age. Number 3. Megan Thee Stallion, The new mogul. If Simone Biles is the master of control, Megan Thee Stallion is the master of resilience. In just a few short years, the hot girl coach has fought her way to a net worth estimated at $40 million, and she did it while fighting one of the most public legal battles in music history. Megan's story is a masterclass in reclaiming value. Early in her career, she was signed to a label deal that she described as restrictive and unfair. Instead of folding, she fought back, eventually gaining her independence. In 2024, she struck a distribution deal with Warner Music Group that allowed her to maintain ownership of her masters and publishing. This is the holy grail of the music business. Owning your masters means you get paid forever. Every time Savage or Hiss is streamed, licensed for a movie, or played in a commercial, Megan gets the lion's share of the profit, not a label. But Megan's wealth isn't just in music rights. She is an endorsement machine. She signed a massive deal with Nike, positioning her as a fitness icon. She became a global ambassador for Revlon. She had a hottie sauce partnership with Popeyes that included not just a paycheck but a franchise ownership deal. That's right, she didn't just sell the chicken, she invested in the kitchen. Megan also inked a first-look deal with Netflix to produce content, setting herself up for a future in Hollywood production. Her fortune is aggressive, diversified, and self-made. She took the grit of Houston rap culture and polished it into a corporate-friendly global brand. At $40 million and climbing, Megan is the fastest rising star on this list. Number 2. Tina Knowles-Lawson, the matriarch. You might think that Tina Knowles-Lawson is on this list simply because she is Beyoncé's mother. That would be a $25 million mistake. Long before her daughter was selling out stadiums, Tina Knowles was building businesses. In the 1990s, she ran one of the most successful hair salons in Houston, Headliners. This wasn't just a shop. It was the hub of Houston's Black elite and the training ground for Destiny's Child. Tina's genius was realizing that she could monetize the look she created for the group. She launched House of Darion, a fashion line that, at its peak, was sold in major department stores across America. While the brand eventually shuttered, it generated millions in revenue and established Tina as a legitimate fashion player. She leveraged that success into a collection for the Home Shopping Network and a furniture line. But her real wealth today lies in her art collection and real estate. Tina has been an avid collector of Black art for decades, long before the current market boom. Her collection includes pieces by legends like Henry Ossawa Tanner and Romare Bearden, assets that have appreciated exponentially in value. She also holds a significant real estate portfolio, having bought and sold luxury properties in Houston and Los Angeles. And let's not overlook her role as a key advisor in her daughter's careers. She is the vice chairwoman of the Waco Theater Center in LA and continues to be a philanthropic force. With a personal net worth of $25 million, Tina Knowles-Lawson is the blueprint. She taught her daughters that talent is great, but ownership is better. She is the architect of the Knowles dynasty. Number 1. Beyoncé Knowles-Carter, the Empire. And finally, we arrive at the number 1 spot. The woman who needs no introduction, yet whose business acumen is often overshadowed by her stage presence. The richest Black woman in Houston, and one of the richest self-made women in the world, is Beyoncé. With a net worth estimated between $600 million and $800 million, Beyoncé is in a financial stratosphere of her own. But how did she get there? It wasn't just by singing. Beyoncé is a corporate conglomerate. Her company, Parkwood Entertainment, is a media powerhouse that handles her management, music production, film production, and fashion ventures. By keeping everything in-house, she keeps the margins that other artists pay to middlemen. Let's talk about the music catalog. Beyoncé owns her masters. This catalog is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. It is an asset that generates passive income every second of every day. Then there is the touring. Her Renaissance World Tour was one of the highest-grossing tours in history, generating over $500 million in revenue. Unlike many artists who sign 360 deals, Beyoncé commands the vast majority of her touring profits. But her billionaire potential lies in her brands. Ivy Park, her partnership with Adidas, and now independent again, was a retail phenomenon. More recently, she launched Sacred, a hair care line that targets the multi-billion-dollar hair market. If Sacred follows the trajectory of Rihanna's Fenty Beauty, it could push Beyoncé into billionaire status within a few years. And we haven't even mentioned real estate. Beyoncé and her husband Jay-Z own some of the most expensive real estate in the world, including a $200 million concrete compound in Malibu, the most expensive home ever sold in California. Beyoncé didn't just make it out of Houston. She took the Houston hustle, the idea that you have to work twice as hard to get half as far, and applied it to global capitalism. She is the gold standard, she is the prototype, and she is, without question, the richest black woman in Houston. From the pews of the church choir to the boardrooms of global fashion, from the soundstages of Hollywood to the stadiums of the world, these women have built a combined wealth of nearly $1 billion, not by asking for a seat at the table, but by building their own tables, their own studios, and their own legacies. Which of these business moves impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see more breakdowns of black wealth across America, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are just getting started.